And then on top of it, I got pictures of him in my garage in my Rolls Royce and spending the day with me, and then being in my Bentley and jumping on my motorcycles. And
that's cool.
it's really wild. You know what I mean?
Had fun together.
But it only goes to show you, impossible dreams come true. The difference is how bad you want them. You know?
Yeah, yeah. That's cool that you had bonding time.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fun. But yeah, dreams always come true, and it's always good to stay positive about it because you never know where, you could be taken in life.
Well, you got to be open-mindedness to be able to, dreams, there's a price to pay for them. I don't care what you're doing, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, because the road is not always the easiest road. But if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And I'm a living testament that I got deterred many times to what you have to take life as a learning lesson.
Yeah.
I observe life quite a bit, and what I do is I take lessons out of it and try to understand why and how come this is happening to me at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So most people retreat and say, listen, this is too hard. But when it gets harder, I work harder.
Yeah.
And that's when I overcome that. That gives me the value to my success.
Yeah. It adds value.
Most definitely.
You worked like extra hard to make it through where most people wouldn't give the effort. That's great. That's great. So you've worked a lot with you've worked a lot with ABC on shows like Body of Proof, episodes 4 and 5, as Officer Watkins. That was a principal role. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. Like I was talking about earlier, that was a graduating process to me as an actor, but more so, I'll never forget getting the call because I went into Boston Casting. I started originally with LDI, and they did all the background. And what happened was, I got a call from Angela Parry from Boston Casting to audition, and then I went in for the audition. And as you know, they don't tell you nothing. But at the same time, I felt I did well. And then to get the call that I had to go back and I had a re-audition for Rosalie Joseph out of ABC in New York, they came down here to Boston Casting, and then after I left there and I got a call that I was booked.
Wow.
It was incredible. Because that was, as a young actor, but as far as somebody new to the acting field, and to be able to make that jump, which I did network television before that. I did Showtime with Brotherhood. I used to be on Showtime. That was a cool episode. Too bad that was filmed in Providence. It was about the Irish mob.
Wow.
And, I mean, and I had a brother that was a politician, so I had a conflict of both there. That was fun. And then I did USA. I did, what the hell was it? Growing Pains? Not Growing Pains. I don't know what the hell. You believe this?
World Pains, was it?
No, what the hell is the name of the movie? Well, I did USA, and in doing that itself, I ended up playing a football player.
Oh, wow.
Which I always wanted to play football again.
That's kind of coincidental.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And the houses out there are incredible.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I stayed in Manhattan, and they drove me to set. And when they drove me to set itself, I come up to this beautiful big house, and the house was so big they put a football field in the front of the house.
Oh.
It was nuts. So I got to live my wish out of playing football once again, which I like to do a full contact one for one last time, but that's something I would love to try to do. So I had my share of network television, you know what I mean, as far as being able to work my way around. I would probably be able to do more, but being the fact that I have so much going on, and that's where the youth has it over me, where they can get up and go. I have a lot of responsibility, where as far as I limit myself, which I really shouldn't, but at the same time, I'm a realist where I'm at in life. I know where I want to be, and maybe if I was younger, I might have left a long time ago. Why stay in New England when they're this successful here, when I could be that much more successful on the West Coast?
Yeah.
Or in New York. I know I could get along. I have friends out there, and I have connections now. So it's not like I don't have it. Not to say my acting career is over, by no means.
Yeah.
It's just that as far as I just know where I want to govern it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know I'm no Mark Wahlberg, and I know I'm no Christian Bale, but I know I'm a good supporting guy. So you got to know.
I think you're a lead role guy.
Not so much a lead role guy, but I know I'm a good supporting guy, and I'm openly to admit that. But you got to remember also, I'm a big guy. And Hollywood's small. Let's talk reality here. Mark Wahlberg's only 5'6", 5'7". Tom Cruise wears platform shoes, and I did as far as night and day with him. Cameron Diaz was bigger than him. I mean, you look at most of your leading guys. Harvey Keitel, I did Buy the Gun with him. He got upset because we were standing behind him because we made him look small.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he goes, oh, time out, you're going to kill my career. What are you doing over here? I ended up playing a mob boss with him, but fortunately enough, as far as I had to stand in a little bit of a hole to make it look like he was almost on an even keel.
Oh, no.
But these are the things you learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as Dwayne Johnson just come into his own, or, Sylvester Stallone. He's not a big guy.
Yeah.
He's big on screen.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot up at him on the camera, but he's not generally a 6'2" guy.
No, he doesn't have that build.
No, but a lot of people get misconceived. So, you got to remember, I'm a big guy, plus you gain weight on the screen. To say I'm a 110-pounder, that ain't happening. So I can play a good supporting guy, like a Brian Dennehy kind of guy, and I'm happy with that. Because when I got in this business, all I wanted to do was to see if I could make it to one movie, forget 20 of them.
Yeah.
And I want to get a chance to see if I could talk on screen, and it's an amazing thing, just to go to a theater or even get the DVDs, which I have in my home, and my daughter, going to a premiere that her father's on the big screen to see me come to life that big. What else could I ask for?
That's beautiful.
And that's where film in this business means to me, is that I'm able to leave part of me here after my show is really over.
Yeah.
Because for other people to watch, or my great-grandkids and my grandkids, to say, hey, there's my grandfather. You know what I mean? And to give them incentive and to believe in themselves, to let them know that you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
The difference is how bad you want it. I love the film industry. I love it as an actor. I love it as a challenge at this age. Just to remember my name some days are good. At 56 years old, some guys are starting to get dementia and starting to forget, because they get a little stale, they get complacent. But that's where studying lines and at the same time being creative helps me to flow and my juices to keep me going.
Yes.
Because there's no bigger adrenaline rush when you're sitting and everybody's looking at you and you hear action and the lights are on you and, people say, oh, it looks easy. Yeah, try it sometime. Yeah. Try it sometime as far as, and that's one of the challenges I have with the comedy. Yeah. Like we just got done with, where I have a boatload of lines, but I also, not only a boatload of lines, but I also had to able to ad-lib and get back to the lines.
Yeah, very nice.
Instead of get off on left field and go off on a tangent and forget the lines.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great challenges as you get older in life, and I think I have the wisdom now as well. Mm-hmm. Because if I was young and I got taken by the success, it's real easy to get lost in the ego part of this business.
Yes.
I mean, you start to believe your own hype. Mm-hmm. And I think I mentioned to you earlier, that's not what I'm all about. I believe God has gave me some great success in life, in a lot of areas of my life. Like I've worked in my sports world, I can't sit here and tell you, or I can come back wholeheartedly to sit with a guy that bangs nails all day long, or that's a plumber, to tell him, listen, I just left a police escort, going to the Super Bowl, signed the autograph with Jim McMahon, and, ate like a king, drank like a fish, and was carted around, and then to come back home and tell him the story of my success when he's banging nails, because it sounds so far-fetched, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just like New Year's Eve. This New Year's I'm supposed to go to Jim McMahon's house, and then we're supposed to go to a party at Charles Barkley's house.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and when you go to those events, you never know who else is going to be there.
Yeah.
Because, they say as far as you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So, I get to meet a lot of contacts, but my point of all of this is that God gave me this platform for a reason. And I know that. And what I use this platform is to reach out to other people and educate them, but also make them realize that they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. The
difference is how bad you want it. And that's what I try to do. And I encourage people to do that, because my real wealth, in reality, when this show is all done, Billy V's show, when he dies, I can't take anything with me. Forget about the $100,000 automobiles, the $77,000 watches, the cars, the home, all that stuff. I leave two things behind. I leave all my DVDs of all the things that I did do here in the stories, because I've also had a TV show I deal with the biggest athletes in the world, doing one-on-one interviews. Mm-hmm. Those are left behind.
Yeah.
But what I really leave behind, which is my real wealth, is the people I touch.
Yeah.
By taking the guy that didn't believe in himself and telling him, listen, there's only one difference between me and you. And that's you. And you can do what I did and that much more. And you'd be surprised. So when my kids someday are walking the street and they say my name, people will say, let me tell you about your father. And that's the real wealth, what it's really all about.
Yeah.
That's where I'm rich forever.
Yeah.
Instead of just this world in itself.
That's true. That's excellent. That's a beautiful, beautiful way to think about things. And,
Thank you.
And a good perspective to have on life. I really admire that a lot. And you're really inspirational. You should write more about this stuff online. You write a lot of inspirational stuff as it is.
Buy the book.
But you should write a book.
I'm going to.
What's stopping you?
I'm going to. I just got to make more time.
I know.
It took me 2.5 hours to get out here, right? Right.
But yeah, and I mean, like, and for example, you know, you've been, like you said, with the network stations, you've been doing the indie films, you've been trying all these different genres, you have the family, you have the cars and the hobbies and the collections and the events for that, and the events with your friends, and the traveling, and then, you know, you do commercials as well, I've seen.
Major motion picture, oh yeah.
You know, major, you know, so what are your commercials about?
Oh, I do a couple of jewelry commercials. Of course, I love jewelry.
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
the jewelry commercial, and then as far as for my sports business, which was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. I'm going to try some of that because I had a couple of agents in Boston reach out to me. You know, for a guy my size, I look pretty good in clothes, and at the same time, I could probably pull some of those off. And some of the commercials are fun. I'm going to try my talent at that as well. Mm. But we'll see. I mean, who knows what's to come? You know, I look at life as an adventure. You know, I don't close every door. I'm just selective what doors I walk into, though. Mm-hmm. I mean,
smart as would be.
Exactly.
Wow. So you know, speaking of being busy, you've been in over 20 films, which is amazing. You know, and TV series, a few recurring roles, like you mentioned. You know, notable stations. You know, you're sub-trained. You've hosted TV and radio shows for a period of time. Tell me about that.
That was an idea I had when I had a sports store back in 1990. Mm-hmm. I created Billy B's Sports Collectibles because I collect sports memorabilia, of course. I wanted to promote the store. So an idea came to me and said, listen, you know, what the best way to do this is do a show about sports collectibles. But it then came to me, so what's even better than the people that are buying Yogi Berra cards and Jim McMahon cards and stuff like that? How about if I make them come to life?
Yeah.
So what I did is I would not only talk about the collectibles, but I have these guys on my show doing interviews and having my callers call in to talk to these guys.
Yeah.
Because when you saw them at autograph signings, all they would do is sign the autograph and go, next.
I know,
next,
that's how they are.
Next. But when you called in my show, you got to talk to these guys. So what happened was I started off as a local show on WICE. It became so successful, I became the pregame show to the New York Yankees.
Whoa.
Then from there, I jumped to 56 stations nationally. And then from there, I jumped to representing some of these guys. That's how my marketing company started to formulate. And then I did the television.
Wow.
I was on weekly doing one-on-one exclusive interviews.
Wow.
Which I've worked with some of the biggest. I've worked with over about 250, 300 athletes in my life. I've worked from names of guys like Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Bill Russell, Jim McMahon, Dick Butkus, you name it, pretty much who's who from the world of sports, which was incredible because being an ex-athlete kept me close to the game, but also made my impossible dreams come true. You know what it's like? I'll tell you a story. Dick Butkus was my childhood idol. I was a football player. I wore his number in high school, college, and as far as any chance I had.
What number?
51. So funny enough itself, whoever thought when I was a kid that I was carry his trading card, and that someday, that as far as not only would he get to know who I was, he would have a chance to interview him for radio and television, but that he would actually work for me, and I would sign his check.
Oh my gosh.
You know the probabilities of that? Think about that.
Yeah.
He lived in Malibu, California.
That's a lot of specific things.
Is that crazy?
That's crazy.
I'll tell you one more, talk about impossible dreams coming true.
Yeah?
In 1986, I went to the third floor of Viola Street, which is in Providence, with my wife-to-be at the time, watching the Super Bowl of the New England Patriots against the Chicago Bears. As you know, the Patriots lost 46-10. But who would ever believe, let's fast forward, 6 years forward, that the winning quarterback of that game would not only get to know who I am, but I would sleep in the same house, eat at the same table, travel with him, as well as be able to do events with him all around this country.
Wow.
And be like my brother.
That's crazy.
Come out of the TV. Never knew where he was, never knew who he was, but come out of the television into my life and be a part of my life still today. So my point is this, that there's nothing is impossible. Nothing. The difference is how bad you want it.
That's beautiful. I love it. That's amazing. And I want to touch briefly, I mean, you know, you've been awarded selected Rhode Islander of the Year 2008, Shop Rhode Island magazine, one of the 4 most successful single entrepreneurs, the 2008 Communicator Award recipient, and also, you know, most amazingly, there's such a day as Billy V Day, named in the city of Providence, which is December 19th. And what's the date today?
December 19th. You can share my special day with me, kiddo. How's that?
Oh, we don't have a handshake.
Okay, there's one more that you missed, though, which, you know, I mean, I'm pretty flattered. I was actually Bachelor of the Month for the Tigers magazine, which was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so as far as that was a lot of fun itself. But yeah, Billy V Day was very special. That day, just to let you know, 21 years, let's go backwards, I held a press conference in Providence, Rhode Island for a product I developed called Boxing Legends. It was a transfer on canvas of the heroes and legends of boxing. And my first 3 subjects were Willie Pep, which was a featherweight champion, one of the great Hall of Famer, Carmen Basilio, which was a middleweight champion, along with Tony DeMarco, which was also a middleweight champion out of Boston. And I had those 3 on hand, along with another fighter by the name of Patty Reed. And we held a press conference. And I had the World of Boxing convene on the Westin Hotel, which was just newly opened back then. That was the first major event they held there at the Westin Hotel. And we had the governor there, we had the governor's representation. We had, as far as the boxing officials come in from New York. We also had the mayor of Providence, and they were making the introductions, in which I got a beautiful citation from the state, from the governor, in their office of the representatives and stuff, but also Buddy Cianci. He was the mayor of Providence at the time. He got up and welcomed the boxing world there, and he finished off with naming Billy V Day.
Oh, cool!
Which was cool. December 19th, 1994. But what made that real special, you know, I just took it for granted. Billy V Day, you know, it was another day. Because I've been very fortunate. This year I was just inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame back in my Little League. And I'll tell you that story in a second. But he ended up, as far as give me that day. And whoever thought a million years I'd see someday. I got a trading card with Mickey Mantle having Mickey Mantle Day in New York. So like, that was a big deal that they printed the card on it. So Billy V Day, as far as is special to me, and what's great is that'd be forever. But just to get sidetracked, I was just telling you about the Hall of Fame induction this year to the Little League. I'll tell you another story, a truism of life. This past summer, I get a call, and I was selected to the Baseball Hall of Fame of the Orneville Johnston Little League. Now, what makes that special is my left hand, these 2 fingers, I'm crippled. When I was a kid, I was a mischievous kid. I hopped the fence. And I actually had a compound fracture. They misset my hands. I can only bend it straight when I bend my wrist.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
but it's okay. You never noticed, you never knew, right? Because I just hold my hands that way. But funny enough, I went out for the Little League. And you know, when you're a little kid playing sports, if you go to catch a baseball, the glove would close. So I went out for the Little League. So the guy says, okay, let's try a pop-up. I go to catch it. Boom! I catch it off my face.
Oh, no, I've done that.
I throw it back. And I got tears in my eyes now. He says, let's try another one. I go for another one. Boom! I catch it on this side. Now I got two red faces, red eyes. I pick it up. I throw it back. He says, okay, let's try a grounder. He hits a one-shot grounder. Goes under my chin. Hit me under the chin. Goes on the ground. I pick it up. I throw it back. I got tears in my eyes. I throw my glove down. I walk off the field. I say, I don't want to play this sport to my mom. She goes, get back on the field. Winners never quit, quitters never win. So I played it. I graduated from the Little League to the Senior League, which was 13, 14, 15-year-olds. So it's my last year playing. I got selected to the All-Star team.
Wow.
That day, will never forget. I had cleats on. My family, my mother grew up 4 kids. So I didn't have, like my other friends had a father, mother situation, but also my cleats weren't the best. As far as I had them coming through, I'm starting in the All-Star game, and they were hurting my feet. I'll never forget playing in the game. Sure enough, I wear glasses. I put them on the bench, a kid sits on my glasses.
Oh, no.
So I said, no, I'm putting the glasses on, trying to straighten them out. My feet are hurting. I get the call to play.
Yeah.
I start the game. It's the 3rd inning. There's guys on 2nd and 3rd. Now, the field we're playing in is 350 feet to left field. There's 2 men on base. I take the bat. I hit the first home run ever in the history of the league.
Whoa.
Out at that bat.
Oh, my
At
God.
an All-Star game in front of a crowded field. The place goes crazy. And I made history at that point in time by being the first 15-year-old kid to ever do it. Nonetheless, in a regular game and an All-Star game.
Yeah.
So that ball still sits on my mantle, along with all those names. But also, when being inducted this year into the Baseball Hall of Fame made it that much more special.
Yeah.
And my point is this, is if I would have quit when I wanted to that day, when I caught all those bruises underneath my eyes and underneath my chin, I would have never hit that home run.
Yeah.
So that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, about how life, as far as you can't just quit. You got to take the good with the bad. And from the bad, you learn to make it better.
Yeah.
And that's a living testament of my life.
Yeah.
I just keep swinging, and I just keep hitting it to the fence.
You hit the home runs.
That's
you
right.
Keep hitting them.
You keep doing it.
That's amazing. So, wow, I think that concludes today's interview. It's been amazing having you here. You're so interesting. And one last question before I let you go. What do you think is best? To be well-rounded and do like all the different things that you do and like, you know, host shows and try acting, not try acting, but do acting and do like all these different things. It's best to be like with your hands in as many pots as possible, like, you know, not all your eggs in one basket type thing, you know, as an actor? Or do you think that, you know, if you have the ability to do a bunch of different talents, should you just explore all the talents equally?
I think as far as you have to be well diversified. Because you don't want to be heavily weighed. Because if you're heavily weighed in one area versus another, and that doesn't work out, where do you go?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I have going for me is that my father died when I was 8. I was off on my own at 19. And I had no choice than to survive.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's not sorry. It's just the way it happened. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because from that survival mode, I had to learn to reinvent myself at different times. And, you know, life took me hard sometimes. I got to the point where I had a son, and I had a very bad divorce, and I got sick for 4 years with anxiety, and I had to learn to overcome a lot of emotional distress, as well as I had to learn to re-survive myself. So, you know, you got to be a survivor. And the thing is, you know, my strength, you know, I tell guys as far as, you know, average aorta goes from here to here. Mine starts here, goes to the other side, down the right side, over to my leg, across my pelvis, over the other leg, and back up this way. I don't quit. I play every out, I play every down. I play every minute. I save a life like a fine steak. And that's what you have to do with opportunity. And you look at every opportunity, you make a judge. We all have choices. And as I said earlier, as far as just calculate your risk, make your choice. And if you make a choice, you're going to live with it, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. But if it's a bad one, learn from it. That's education. There's no more scorecard here. There's no more report card.
That's true.
The report card is your successes. And the biggest thing I can say that I'm at right now, I'm accomplished.
Yeah.
And that's where I went from anxiety-ridden when I was a kid, unsure of myself, to a ball of nerves, to where today I choose what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because you have one life.
Yeah.
Just
you
make
do
it
it with confidence.
And you make it count. And the confidence is built by your accomplishments. I didn't feel that for years. I was be successful, and I'd be on to the next thing. I'd be successful, and I'd be on to the next thing. But now I'm successful, but I enjoy my success. By either giving it away or just enjoying what I did. And I did it right. And that's what life's all about. A moment at a time.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for having you here. You've been amazing.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. I've enjoyed this interview a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Billy B. Thank you. Woo! And we will be concluding this episode, and my mind is blown. This has been a lot of information, but we will see you again soon in the next episode, and I hope you all have a great day, take care, and we'll see you soon.